and glad to see you. I'm ready to hear some updates on PlaBook. So shoot away, Philip.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of work with PlaBook since we last met. We definitely needed that boost of as granted us from competition. So once again, I want to say thank you for that. But we're taking off a PlaBook, and we are in a great position as predicted. We knew that there's all kind of disruptive forces out there, and it was a predictor of what education was going to look like. And so, just like I wrote in my book, that the tape was disrupted by the CD was disrupted by the iPad and the iPod, and the iPod was disrupted by streaming music now. And the same thing with education. Education's disruptor is technology. And education was moving very slow. And as you see now, because of the pandemic, it exposed the chink in the armor, right? That we were not preparing kids for the future. Yeah, we were not preparing kids for the future, and our mode of instruction was not appropriate for that process as well. And so that's where PlaBook comes along. PlaBook is an innovative reading technology that uses artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and speech recognition to help a child learn how to read. And a lot of the updates are that, we are working on 2 of our IPs and developing another one, which is our intellectual property. And one of them is through the speech recognition, is that it's able to recognize the child's reading patterns through phonemes, which breaks down the parts of speech, as opposed to Google and Alexa, where they listen to the whole word, right? And they determine whether or not you said it correctly based off the natural language processing of a sentence. We're able to look at the phonemes and break the word down. So that helps us with instruction, and it helps us with determine whether a child said the word right. The other innovative technology that we have is text complexifier. So everyone has what are called text simplifiers, where it simplifies the text. And that's good for remediation, but no one actually has it to where the technology to use natural language processing to improve the text and make it more challenging for the reader. The reason why that's important with PlaBook, as you know, what happens in the reading process of PlaBook is she's an artificial intelligence bot. So she converses back and forth with the child. She's a digital reading assistant. It helps support the child. But during that process, as the child is reading, her other job is to collect the running records of the error rate of what the child is reading. So their fluency, the words they mispronounce, the complexity of the words, and it determines a model that says this is that child's reading level. So if that child is reading a 5th grade book, but they really read at the 3rd grade level, what Ruby does is Ruby will simplify the text to that child's level, to where it's not too hard for the child or it's not too easy for a child. It's right at that sweet spot. But the other aspect of it is, so allows for more reading fluently, and so that child will allow to be able to comprehend. But as that child becomes fluent reader, then we don't leave them behind. We actually start to increase the text. So that's where the text complexifier comes in, where it actually starts to scaffold the child up to improve that child's reading even further beyond explanation. And it's for school and home. So the software can be downloaded and have a subscription license for parents, which we know now with this pandemic that we had too many kids at home. And as a parent, all I heard over the Zoom call was the teacher saying, sit up, pay attention, turn on your screen, I mean, it was, oh man,
Well, I was talking to a parent this morning, and they were talking about how their older kids, they could get on a Zoom call.
Right.
That 2nd grader, they didn't know how to get on a Zoom call. And then once they got on the Zoom call, they couldn't read it. They couldn't, there was just too, and this was a teacher. Right. So she was going to hire a sub teacher to come in and just tutor her kids. So let me get back to, this sounds like it's hitting a sweet spot right now in the environment we have.
Oh yeah.
So you're selling it both personally to personnel as well as school districts, correct?
Yeah. So B2B and B2C. So direct to business, where we're going to the school districts, and also a subscription model direct to parents because it's needed. And she's a fully autonomous bot, so she can function on her own. Ruby can, and under PlaBook's model, and it will allow the child. It will take the equation, the adult, totally out of the equation in the sense of the instruction part of it. But it also gives a dashboard of data to the parent and to the teacher, and it also gives a dashboard to the student. So the student, Ruby can, after the student is finished, Ruby will provide the dashboard and have smart insights for the students and say, hey, you're having trouble with the long O vowels. Here's a way to do it. And just like what you said, that teacher said, there's no way that you can convince me right now that our elementary school kids needs are best met through a Zoom call. There's no way that you could convince me that you can teach a kindergarten through second grader how to read through Zoom by the way, with a virtual classroom with other students in that classroom. Impossible. So
I have a 14 and a 16-year-old that I didn't have to worry about. I always could tell if they got their schoolwork done based on it. Did they fix some elaborate lunch? If they did, that meant they got done with all their stuff. If not, they were still working. They didn't have time for lunch. So I have challenges, but I think those younger, especially who you're targeting, this is, talk about right time, right place. Right, so what are you doing to market, get your word out? What's the word? Because it is live right now, correct?
Well, no, we're still in the fundraising stage, and we're finishing up. We should finish up development. Our predicted development is February, but we just got through talking to a couple of VCs, and they're trying to figure out how can we accelerate development. If you can raise more money, then you can put more developers on it, and let's get it out by the end of November because it's needed. Just like you said, it's just needed.
So not that we won't go down too deep, but what kind of round are you looking at? What in terms of dollar figure? Are you looking at a 2 million, or what? Where are you looking at?
1.5.
1.5. Okay. So we can't go to
small dollars,
regulations and all that, but I can at least ask. I can ask that question. You're not tempting me or anything on that. So basically, you're raising funds. What else do you need other than funds right now? And tell me what that accomplished. Is it more development at this point, or is it more marketing to get the word out? What's the deal?
It's to accelerate the development, first of all, and then the second half of it is the go-to-market strategy, to be able to put boots on the ground with the professional development, to be able to train teachers and parents on how to use it, even though it's simple, but to be able to understand the smart insights, to be able to understand the science behind the technology that improves reading, and make sure that the implementation is done with fidelity. But we know with technology, once you put it in the kids' hands, they can operate it. They know how to operate it. But it's
better than the teachers and the parents.
Right. But this is just to support the adults, to make sure that they're in the loop and that they're going along for the ride as well. And again, it helps the adult. It gives feedback to the adult as far as how to better help the student in their journey.
So, do you have a beta site out there that maybe a few people that would allow a few people on to help do some beta testing and all that, or are we still before that?
No, we have a few classrooms that Ruby is in and collecting a strong data set so that we can make sure that we take all the bugs out before it hits the market. It's very important with the accuracy of it. And that's one of our IPs, is really looking at the accuracy of the voice to increase it.
Well, that's what I was asking. Is there some maybe people here in the Kansas City, at least some of the area, that we can maybe push this out, help you, and in the meantime help them and their kids? So is that something that would be of interest? And if you don't, well, we can put it out later. But we're going to record it.
Yeah, definitely would be of interest in our rollout of August. One of the things that we're doing now is that we have some pretty big names in the field of education that's developing the curriculum, because we want to make sure that we have enough solid text out there, and not only text for reading just for fun, but also text units so that they can lead the comprehension questions.
Okay.
And so that we hit the whole gamut of reading, not just reading fluency and basic reading. We want to go from end-to-end solution. So from beginning, teaching a child how to read, all the way to the end, where they're totally at the highest level of comprehension.
So in terms of the business model, because I've always tackling the education market has always been painful, especially in the past paradigm where teachers knew it all and administrators knew it all, and they just like to do it the way they used to do it. Have you just seen an embracement because of today's environment to do something different? I mean, is it a little?
Put it like this: we're providing counseling for teachers, and unfortunately, some of our veteran teachers are running for the hills.
Yeah.
I mean, they know that there's no way that you can do it the way they did it before, and that everything is going to be new, that this is going to be just a totally new implementation of everything. I mean, a lot of professional development dollars are going towards how to teach, how to deliver instruction via some kind of digital platform. And so people, people are, and think about this. So I used to be a superintendent. Some of my superintendent friends in Texas, they wrote out a very good elaborate stream. I mean, they had the teachers come in early, they had the administrators come in early, and they said, you know what, we're going to have the elementary students, an A and B schedule. Some come during the day, some come during the evening. We have the middle school, a mixed bag where you can have a choice to have your child go to school or your child to be at home. And high school students, they can be at home. Guess what? The parents were livid. I'm not driving back and forth to work to pick my child up from elementary. I mean, it was so many. There's no, and so they're starting from zero right now. So there's no way that anybody knows what's acceptable right now. I mean, it's the new. But the good thing is that means that technology, which I predicted in my book, education will be the new .com frontier for technology, because now you have to integrate it.
Before they could get away with it, and now they don't have that choice.
Right. And every solution in education, not every, but the major solutions in education were not designed for education. PowerPoint was designed for business.
Yeah.
Zoom was designed for businesses. It was not designed for education. So to come up with a solution from educators, designed for educators, and an educator like myself with a strong technology background is very rare, but wanted.
So it seems like you're right at the right time at the right place. Please let us know how we can help you. We're here at the end. We've had about 15 minutes. Always good to hear about you. I always like hearing. I think you're passionate. I love your passion. I love your passion about whatever you're involved with. Right. So here I got a nice pop-up showing up right there in the middle of that. So hey, Dr. Hickman, thank you for your time. Keep us updated. Let us know how, as a community, we can help you out, because honestly, I think not only can we help you out, it's a very synergistic relationship. You're helping our kids out, and maybe some of us dyslexic adults. So maybe there's some other applications in there that happens. But
we do cover dyslexia, and we cover speech articulation disorder. And understand that the research that came out in December 2019 said 76% of children in the entire United States at the 4th grade level read below grade level. That's not race, socioeconomic.
Right.
It's out the window, brother. It's every right now, children are being unprepared. And then now you tack in COVID, where they said 73% of children did not turn in homework.
I know that just amazed me about, and so I'm working, and you're aware of some of the things I do. I'm working on the availability and the affordability around getting internet just to their houses, and you run into so many starts and stops there. Not only just with the hardware, so there's a hardware cost, but then even if I have the hardware, if I don't have internet at home, then am I going to McDonald's? Am I going to Now they've got some bus models where the bus is going into a neighborhood, but at the end of the day, that's not convenient. No. You got to bring it. So there's multi-facets that I think touches our community. And at the end of the day, you get those kids, because if they fall behind at the 4th grade level, then what happens? They're continuing to stay behind.
86%
strain on society.
Chance of dropping out, brother.
Yep.
86% chance of dropping out. And high school dropouts, 75% of crime created in the United States is created by high school dropouts. So if you want to have a solution,
yeah, right, exactly.
if you want to have a value-added solution, and by the way, when I was a superintendent, again, it's written in my book, but some of the things I've done to become a national ambassador for the United States Department of Education, I put Wi-Fi on the buses. I ran Wi-Fi from schools. I did data maps to let know in the community where they're at. But like you said, the people don't understand the Wi-Fi on the bus can only run when the bus is running. So you can't just have the bus parked in the neighborhood all the time, running, or and all those kind of things. So it's more complex than well, of course but then most people know, and it's a good solution to tackle a good problem, because then you have that equity divide.
One question that we haven't touched on is what's the name of the book, and where can we get it?
So the book is called Execution by Firing Squad: Effective Leadership When You're the Target. And the book is on Amazon, or you can buy it by myself.
I don't think I knew that last part. I don't think I knew the first part, but I didn't know when you're the target. Oh, that's
Effective Leadership
on Amazon. Is it on
Amazon? Yes, on Dr. Hickman. And it's important. I mean, it really talks about being a disruptor in education. As a superintendent, I was under fire, and now everything that happened is actually coming to fruition. But I changed a school district that was a school that was the worst school in the state of Mississippi, which was the worst school in the United States. I made it the top 5 of Mississippi and the top 20 in the nation in innovation and technology within 4 years. Although I got fired the last 2 months of my contract, but that's Mississippi.
Hey, I was going to say, and they don't have a lot of money to throw around anyway. So the fact that you did that is amazing. So thank you again for your time. And we look forward to hearing more. And again, let us know how we can help.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Thanks for inviting me.